Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Chloe. So I love using color in my makeup. It adds just like a little pop of fun and something different. But for so long, I struggled in how to wear it just day to day without it being these crazy, elaborate, like entire rainbow eye makeup looks. I found a couple little key ways to really add in like a little pop of color in your everyday look. So let's just get started. So the way that I usually choose my color that I want to wear that day is pretty much based off of my outfit. So most times I will figure out what I'm wearing first, and then I will take a color from what I'm wearing and use that as my pop of color. So today, of course, I am wearing blue, so I am going to use blue for today. So depending on which way I use my pop of color, I either use eyeshadow or eyeliner, whether that be liquid eyeliner, pencil eyeliner, whatever works. One of my favorite things to use is these NYX Epic eyeliners. This is in no way an ad for them. I really do just like these eyeliners. They have really strong pigment, but they're so creamy. The only thing I don't like about them is that they are plastic. So when you go to sharpen them, you end up with all this little plastic crap, which is just like bad for the earth, and we don't really like that. So the first way I will apply color to my look is in my inner corner. So the first way I like to apply color to my look is by putting it in my inner corner. So if I go in and use a pencil, I kind of like to outline my inner tear duct and make it that like inner wing shape, just as best as possible. I don't try and make it perfect, and I don't try and make it super obvious, but just to give it a little bit of shape while I'm drawing the pencil on. It's just really soft and pretty this way. Sometimes I like to put a little glitter over that as well when I do it, just to bring even more attention to the inner corner and pop of color. Or you could use eyeshadow, which just gives a little bit of a different effect. I like to blow the eyeshadow out a little bit more and spread it out, so it's definitely more of a focal point than if I do it with the eyeliner. You can also build up pigment, so if you're using like a really, really vibrant shade, it definitely pops when you put it in your inner corner like that. I usually like to soften the edges. I like to bring it up into my inner third a little bit, or sometimes I might even drag it down on my lower lash line just a tiny bit. If you want to spice it up some more and make it really vibrant and obvious, you can also carve out the inner corner with some concealer and kind of cut the crease in a way. So those are the two different ways I would apply color in my inner corner. The other way that I wear the most often would be putting it in my lower waterline. That is just a classic. It's my favorite. It's so easy to just chuck on any colored liner in your lower waterline. Like, it's so simple, but it makes such a difference to the look. Sometimes when I do this, I like to drag it on my lower lash line as well, not only in my waterline, then it obviously gives it even more emphasis. It definitely lasts longer that way. I have always struggled with getting eyeliners to last in my waterline. So by putting it just on my lower lash line as well, it helps it last a lot longer, because I do find myself having to touch up my waterline throughout the day when I wear it this way. This is probably the easiest day-to-day wear, just because it is so subtle and so simple and takes like 2 seconds to apply. You don't have to do any blending, you don't have to do anything other than apply the color to your waterline. I have used shadows before because maybe I don't have the color in the eyeliner, but I have it in a shadow. I usually just take an angled brush, and I try not to pick up too much product to not get any powder in my eye. But obviously that does happen. There are risks involved, you guys, risks involved. And then of course, very easily, you could use a shadow and smoke it out along your lower lash line. And honestly, the look will change even if you only do like the outer third. If you go all the way across, like it'll look different depending on how you apply it. And then my last and final favorite way to wear pops of color in my makeup is by doing it in my eyeliner. That seems obvious because I kind of just said that. But what I mean by that is doing it in like a winged liner. And then of course your winged liner you can turn into graphic liner. But even just doing a basic wing liner will add so much of a pop. And there's just so many ways that you could make this wing your own. You could make it a really soft blended wing and blend it into the rest of your eyeshadow if you have that. You could drag it down to your lower lash line from there. For the wing liner, I personally either like to use an eyeshadow with an angled brush, or I like to use a liquid liner. I could totally go in and use a pencil liner. I just don't want to put in the effort to have to go in and clean up the edges to make the wing a little bit sharper at the end. So I just stick to either liquid eyeliner or eyeshadow. It seems to be easier for me. And honestly, by rotating these 3 styles all week with different colors, it looks like you've worn completely different makeup looks all week. And in reality, you haven't even put that much effort in. You've just switched up the color. You've just added that little touch of something. And it's perfect. I love color. See, I don't wear any color in my clothes, like rarely ever. So I always like to have color in my makeup. Even if I'm wearing all black, I like to add a little pink waterline or something fun. It is my favorite way to bring color into my look and my outfits and everything like that, especially when I'm not wearing color, because that is often. All right, that is gonna be all for this week's video. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and leave me a like because it really helps me out. I'll see you guys in the next one.